So you want to become an investor. Well, I'm going to share with you how I did it starting from absolutely nothing, because hands down, if you want to get in the game, you're going to need deals and you're going to need money. And in the beginning, I had none, but I still became an investor and retired 4.5 years later. I'm going to show you how today. So how do you become an investor? Well, I'm going to share with you my two favorite approaches, and I want to back up and just make sure that you understand what is an investor and how does this actually work. So when you want to become an investor in the game of real estate, what you need money and you need deals. Now, between these two, I don't want you to focus on the money. I want you to focus on the deals, because really what makes an investor is this person might be called the hard money, like the financial partner, but this person is the brains, the know-how. You need to invest in a career of learning. It's knowledge. What is the knowledge of actually how to find really good deals? If you find good deals, what I'm telling you is that the money will come. It's actually, there's all the money in the world for really, really good deals. So if you want to become an investor, I want you to first drill down on how to become an expert at finding the right kind of high ROI, return on investment, deals. Okay, so this is how to become an investor 101. This home has to be a good deal. And you got to ask yourself, why would someone want to put money in a home? You need to understand this. If a home is worth X and you're buying it for that price, no one is going to be interested in it. You actually have to do the Warren Buffett buy low, sell high. So if I have a house here, let's say that is valued at $150,000, and let's just say for a moment that you can actually purchase this home for $110,000, there's a $40,000 gap between what it's worth and what you owe. That $40,000, I want to ask you, would you be better off if you were worth $40,000 more? Could someone else with money that has money to put down be better off? I'm actually giving you the numbers on my very first deal that helped me become an investor. Now, if this is the scenario with the deal, there are two ways of getting money. You either got the money or someone else has the money. That's called OPM, other people's money. Now, when I actually did my first house, I actually found one that I could move into, and all I needed with this first option was a 3% down payment because I was going to live in it instead of a typical 20%, which is what investors need to do for regular bank financing, conventional finance. Now, 3% down on $150,000, that's $4,500. 45 is not a lot. You can borrow that from mom and dad. You can get that out of a 401k. You can just save up for a little bit. In my case, I was poor, making less than $20,000 a year. So it took me a year and I saved up enough money so that I could actually do this. But what I didn't know at the time, because it was my first deal, was that there were way faster options. Here's what it looks like. It's called a partner. And a partner is someone that already has the money and they're looking for intelligent places to put their money. Now, I want you to get into the mindset of these people with money. They live in a world where they've got money in 401ks, IRAs, the stock market, and on average, they're doing between 3 and 8% a year on their money. There's also a magical force called inflation. It means that things are constantly going up with time, and every year it goes up 3%. So if they have their money earning 3% somewhere, but inflation is 3%, that actually creates a net zero effect. So everyone knows in the financial game, if I'm earning 3% on my money, I'm actually earning nothing. If you're keeping your money in a savings account earning 0.1%, you're actually losing 2.9% roughly every single year. Investors, or people that want to become financial partners, they actually understand this. The 401k did 5%, subtract the 3, they're at 2%. We're looking for a deal here where we say, hey, here's the plan. Let's say that you're doing my lease option system. You can learn all about that in the link below. Talk to my team. It is the #1 system you should start with. I have another one on partnering on how to get all the money you need for all your deals. On lease option, here's what the game plan is. It's going to be, we're going to buy this house. We're actually going to hold it for 3 years. We're going to actually lease it out, and we're going to have someone give us $5,000 as a down payment, and they're going to pay a superior rent because they want to buy it. So let's actually say that there is a $500 a month cash flow on this property. And then in 3 years, we're going to sell it for at least $150. So an investor looks at this and watch how easily that you can actually crunch these numbers. They're going to put 20% down on this property. That's going to be 30 grand. So let's just say that with that and some closing costs, let's say they're $35,000 in, and they want to know, what am I going to get out of this? Well, let's crunch the numbers. You're gonna wanna watch this video a few times. You're gonna wanna pull up the calculator. What I'm sharing with you may seem a little confusing at first, but it's basic, and this is the basic stuff you need to know if you're gonna launch and become a successful investor. There is 40 grand to make, the 5 grand down and 500 a month. 500 a month over 3 years, that is 6, 12, 18,000, plus this is 23, plus the 40. 40,000 plus that 23,000, that is potentially a $63,000 gain. If you actually say, hey, we're gonna be 50-50 partners, they're only gonna get half of that money. So they're going to get, we'll just round up and call it $32,000. You're getting the 31,000. That's how we get to the $63,000. If someone puts in 35 grand and in 3 years gets their 35 grand plus 32 more, they're basically doubling their money in 3 years. Now you can pull out your calculator and say, if I were gonna double my money in 3 years, I'd be making 100% on my money. What's 100% divided by 3 years? That's 33% a year on my money. Now you can do a more specific math, but this is what I'm sharing with you. Remember how I told you that they're making 2, 3, 5, maybe 8% in a rare occasion or a good year? Now all of a sudden you're showing them a possibility for what? For making 30%, 33%? That is almost 25 to 30% higher percentage points than what they're actually earning. That is 6, 7 times more money, 8 times more money than what they're doing. Can you see why someone would say, oh my gosh, based on this, I will give you the money? So here's what you need to learn how to do. You need to learn how to become an expert at finding good deals and then putting them past the people with money. Now, you're sitting there and you're saying, Kris, I don't know how to find good deals. I don't know how to find people with money. I'm either young and dumb or I'm old and dumb pertaining to this knowledge, and I just don't know how to do it. What you really need is a mentor. In the beginning, I had an individual that had made $10 million in real estate, and I did everything I could to follow them around, go to their events, learn from them, and within a short period of time, I possessed this knowledge, and then guess what? I went out there, and 4.5 years later, I possessed 25 properties. I had a $12,000 a month residual income. It was awesome. So how do you get this knowledge? Well, I'm in a position today where I work very part-time. I'm enjoying a wonderful lifestyle. I'm traveling around the world. I'm just loving my life. But the work that I do for me is the work that is meaningful to me. The most meaningful work I know how to do is launch new investors that want freedom in their life. Freedom to live the life of their dreams. I've done that now for over 3,500 people. We've collectively done almost $1 billion worth of real estate. This brings me tremendous fulfillment. So if you're looking for a mentor in your life, what I want you to do is I want you to click the link in the description below, and I want you to ask to talk to a member of my team and say, Kris, lease option real estate, I need to learn it. I want him to mentor with me. What does that look like? And they'll show you exactly what it looks like. And I just want to, spoiler alert, I don't want a whole pile of money. What I want is for a little bit of financial skin in the game for you, and then I'm going to deliver 10 times the value and so much more, and I'm going to get you on your path to becoming a very successful investor. Now, click the link, do that right now, and if you are new to my channel, make sure that you subscribe, because every day I am dropping knowledge like this, and if you'll watch these videos every day, you are going to become a really good, knowledgeable investor. Take care. You got this one life to live. Live limitless.